Airfare price wars could be making a comeback. A number of cities are reportedly seeing low prices at off-peak hours.
For example, passengers have been able to fly from Chicago to Boston for $80 round trip, San Francisco to Las Vegas for $67, and from New York to LA for $150 with a connection.
Travel insider and founder of TravelPulse.com, Mark Murphy, joins us now to tell us what's driving down ticket prices. Mark, thanks for being here. I mean, is there really an airfare war going on
Yeah,
here?
that's a bit of a misnomer. Not really a war. It's only on select routes. You know, the airlines got in a lot of trouble over the years, back in the 80s and 90s, because what would happen is a low-cost carrier would come into their market, let's say Atlanta to New York, and then Delta would go to war with that airline and try to drive them out of that market. And so you're seeing that really on a limited basis, but it really comes down to supply and demand. The airlines aren't doing us any favors with pricing because of oil or fuel. They'd rather put that in their pocket. But what happened was capacity is now a little bit ahead, and on select routes, there are too many seats. So hence why they're doing it.
Is that basically that's what's driving down the cost?
Absolutely. They would charge you $1,500 if they could for that round trip LA, but because of demand at that time on that flight segment, can't do it. That's the catch.
What about smaller budget airlines? Are they forcing major carriers to be more competitive in their own price structures?
Well, absolutely. So what we need to see is more competition if you have more of those low-fare carriers coming in. But remember, those low-fare carriers are not so low fare anymore, because if they can, again, charge enough, that's great. But take a Spirit Airlines, really cheap fares, but they sock you every which way.
Right.
So part of the illusion here is that we're getting a great deal because the base fares are down a few percentage points. But the reality is everything else is up. Baggage fees are up, change fees are up. You know, you name it, it's costing you more to travel. So people, I think it's a psychological thing, not so much a true full-on savings because of the unbundling of all these airfares.
Right. Well, it certainly looks good. Let's talk a little bit more about traveling, because some are talking about a new startup, and it's the Uber for airport food, AirGrub, a new service where you can order meals from restaurants around the terminals on your phone. How does this work, Mark?
Really? Okay. The Uber of, the Uber of, the Uber of. Okay, I'm tired of hearing about the Uber of, all right? So here's the thing. So you can go ahead and order on a single app from a number of outlets and pick up in a single place. Whoop-dee-wow. Not that excited about it. You know, to me, I go to Jersey Mike's Subs, and I go on their app and I order, and it's there 20 minutes later. So all this does is kind of combine up a few outlets. Now, if it gets bigger, and it has a lot more choices, and they deliver it to me as I'm walking onto the plane, kind of like the duty-free does, then they might have something. But what happens when you get there and, whoops, your sandwich isn't there, your salad's not there, and the gate's closing? Right. Now you're going to starve on the plane, or, oh, go figure, eat that wonderful airline food. How about that?
So you don't think it'll necessarily be all that effective?
Yeah, no. I'm like,
I'll take that as a no.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'll try it.
Yeah, you will try it.
I will try it. I try everything, you know, but at the end of the day, I'm not that excited about it.
Well, how about airplane food? Has it gotten any better now that you have to pay for it? And how would you compare that to some of the other stuff?
Okay, so the coach stuff, not so great. It's a little box stuff. It's a little healthier than some of the stuff they were throwing around, you know, the slop they were throwing around for a long time. But then they got rid of that. They didn't even serve it. So at least you have some choices. So if you want a can of Pringles, you want some trail mix, you can get that. That's good. But where they are stepping it up is in the business class and first class, especially on long-haul carriers. Now you're seeing great wines. I mean, I flew on Turkish Airlines. Unbelievable service. They got little chefs, you know, walking around with their chef hats on, serving you
it's like
on
the old
plane.
days.
It's a really great experience going to Istanbul.
Oh, that sounds great. Mark Murphy, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.